So guys, day number 2. If you watch my stories, you know that I'm very not motivated today to start the training, but day 2 I committed. Although it's Friday, I went to sleep yesterday at 5 a.m. We are here. So let's start from a split position. Let's start from a active middle split, and when you are in this position, squeeze your leg, try to close them although you have the surface. This way you are activating your muscles at the end range of motion, and this is contributes to basically opening your and stretching your muscles at the end range of motion, because you are contracting the muscle when it's most open, most stretched, and this is something that helps to make your mobility and flexibility way faster, improve, I should say. But let's go transition to the passive split. I know that I'm gonna regret that I'm sitting on this grass, but I couldn't find any better place to shoot. So make sure your back is straight, knees are fully straight as well, and let's move from side to side just to warm up the body. Exhale on each side. In movement and even in stretching, I like to exhale on the end range of motion, because your diaphragm is compressed, and when it's compressed, it's better to exhale than inhale. You don't need to be a scientist to understand that, but sometimes people don't breathe at all, and when you connect it with movement, it's great to combine breathing with the positioning of your stretch. Here as well, you can sway up and down, helps to deepen your stretch. And let's move to a front split, lazy front split. We can even try an active split for a couple seconds just to warm the muscles. And front split, don't open your hips, keep it tucked, keep it squared. The knee of the front leg is locked. Here as well, try to lock your core, activate your core, and keep your hip neutral to make sure that the hip flexors are stretching, and flex in the ankle joint. This helps with the hamstring stretch. And let's move to the other side. Same corrections apply also here. You can hold this position. If you need something to hold, you can do it close to anything you have in your reach. Try to keep your core tucked as well. And let's move to a lazy lunge to emphasize the stretch on the hip flexors. Again, keep your core tucked, keep your muscles activated, and go as low as you can without compromising here the mobility at the lower back. I already said it, but I think it's better to give those instructions every time that I'm doing the stretch. Let me know If you have any suggestions to improvement. So here, sit on the folded leg, on the bended leg, straighten the front leg as much as possible, connect the knees together, get down with a straight back, try to get with your chin to your foot, imagine it, right? We are not there yet. I'm holding each position for 30 seconds. Let's move to the lazy lunge on the other side. I'm doing it because I don't like to stay in one position for too long. And studies also show that there is no real benefit in holding a position for longer than that. I also like moving and not staying at the same position for too long. And let's move to the pistol seat. Again, try to get down with a straight back. That burns. It's really burning. Shift to a triangular position. The front leg is closed, the foot is close to the knee, and the back leg, the foot is close to the glutes. And from here, we are activating our glutes in this time when we go down. So this way, it's again not compensating. The hip flexors are not pulling the lower back and compensating like this. So the idea here is to squeeze your glutes as much as possible to make sure that you are stretching the hip flexors and not compensating with the lower back. Go as low as you can. Keep the hip area neutral. And let's move to the other side. And let's shift to a pigeon pose. This time I'm going to do it with a lower angle, smaller angle on the front leg. I'm going to aim for an equal height for the hips, and the back leg is straight on the foot, not on the toes. And from here I'm pushing with the hands against the floor while I'm squeezing my core in order to have the stretch on my back leg for part of the stretch. And now I want to have the stretch on the front leg, on the gluteus medius. So now I am relaxing fully into the stretch. You can play with the ranges, feel what's the best, gives the best sensation of stretch in this position. Let's move to the other side. Again, I'm squeezing my core and pushing with my hands against the floor to have the stretch here in the hip flexors. And relax into the stretch. You can also play with the angle of the front knee to also maximize the stretch here on the glutes. let's move to an active front split, middle split, sorry. You can use your hands, put them on the knees. It also helps to alleviate the stress from your adductors, and you can put your hands on the ground. Make sure that your legs are fully on the ground, fully grounded, and you can even do it without hands if you have enough strength. Let's shift to a passive middle split position and try to rotate the foot backwards. So you want your fingers, your toes pointing backwards as you lean forward. This way you opening the space, you shifting basically your bones in a way that it allows more mobility, more range of motion. Go down with a straight back. Don't arch your back. Don't be in this position like this, because you are stretching your back muscles instead of bringing the mobility from the right place, from your hips. And let's lean onto one side. You can also push with one arm against the leg, then open your chest towards the sky, towards the ceiling. And let's try to hold with both of our hands one leg, and let's move to the other side. Push against the hand, against the leg, and try to rotate your chest towards the ceiling. Take a couple deep breaths here. One of the best stretches. And try to hold your foot with both of your hands if you're not able yet to do that. Hold your shin, or I think this is too much, but holding your knee. Wow, I had so many excuses today not to train, but eventually I came here. 2 supersets of mobility exercises. I feel that I already improved a little just by committing. Front splits, again, activate your core. Make sure your hips are squared, don't open to the side. Flex your ankle joint and try to be here with a neutral hip. I feel like I can go lower today. Let's move to the other side. It's actually nice to do it on a wet grass because it's kind of cool and the sun, it's a bit warm. Although it should be winter right now, it should be pouring, raining. Okay, let's transition now, instead of the lazy lunge, as I call it, to a pistol sit, and then we transition to a lazy lunge. So from here with a straight back, let's do it. The straight leg, the front leg is as straight as possible. Try to flex it as strongly as possible. You will feel an incredible burn in the hamstrings. Something that I don't even know if I like or hate. but if I still coming, let's shift to the lazy lunge again. Tuck your core, go as low as possible with the front leg, as you can keep the core neutral. We can try something new here, okay? Let's shift our weight onto the front leg and transition to a Cossack split. And from here, we are going to shift our weight onto the straight leg of the Cossack. And from here, get your knee down, flatten your foot on the shin, and let's shift back to a pistol sit position. This is a nice transition, especially doing it without using the hands. Feels amazing. From here, again, knees are almost together. Try to activate the flex and straighten the knee as much as possible and go down as much as you can. Feels amazing. Wow. Try to reach with your hands, but do not compromise your back. Keep it straight. And lazy lunge. Tuck your core and go down as much as you can without shifting, moving your hip. The back bends are going to be soon on the next session. I hope I'm still recording. Let's check that. Yes, it's still working. Guys, it's still working. I'm so happy. Last time recording stopped a few times. Let's move to the pigeon pose. Now I want the 90 degree. You can get into the position from a side split, from a middle split. Just bend one leg to a 90 degree and then roll on the other hand. You can be here just on the front leg, and you see that when you roll on the back leg, you basically start feeling the stretch. And I like this pose way more than the other one because I really feel the stretch because of the angle of the front leg. So I'm basically using the other hand as a leverage from here, because if I'm not using the hand, I'm gonna fall to the side. So here I'm pushing with the hand and leaning forward. This is the hand that close to the knee, the same hand of the front leg. And let's move to the other side. And this is really depends on which leg you want to stretch and which leg and which muscle you want to aim to stretch. So if I want to stretch the back leg, I will be in this position when the front leg is bended. But here, I like to stretch the front leg because this is the best stretching exercise that aims the gluteus medius. So I'm gonna use this for this one, and for the other exercise, the hip flexors, it's better. The other exercise is better for the stretch. So I use the pigeon pose mainly for this exercise. Yeah, so have we forgot something? I don't remember. So this was 2 sets of this routine, a very nice routine. I think I will make it more complex as we progress, but for now, just to stay consistent, just to start out, let's keep going with this routine. And the next week, well, we are going to up our game, if I can say it this way. I remind you, put your hands to the sides of the head like this, pointing fingers pointing outwards, and try to keep your shins and your forearms parallel to each other when you go to the bridge. And push from the upper back and don't wow, feels so good. Whew. Okay, let's do 5 bridge push-ups and try to bring your hips and your shoulders back together on the ground. So this is how it looks like. And back together. Now I want you to do 5 push-ups and hold for 10 seconds at the last one. Okay, and now for the passive stretch. So because I couldn't find parallels today, we will do just this stretch. Cat pose on the wall, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your core, and try to curve your lower back while arching the upper back. So don't compensate from the lower back like this. Squeeze your core and bring the stretch from the upper back. And that's it for today. So guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what kind of things I have to improve. I really wanted to be a great experience for you. See you next time.